Hi everyone, Renee here from Tippy.com, and we are looking at iOS 4.3 Beta 1. First on the iPad, and the iPad seems to be getting quite a few new features this time. First of all, who can believe it? You can actually have a choice on an Apple product. If you remember, iPad shipped with iOS 3.2, and it had a handy orientation lock on the top here. You flipped it, and the iPad locked, and it would no longer change when you rotated the iPad. But then along came iOS 4.2.1, and it changed to a mute switch. So you could mute it and unmute it, which was confusing because it's not a phone. And we didn't think Apple would change it back. Steve Jobs, in a purported email, said they wouldn't change it back. But look here. In the settings, I can switch mute, orientation lock. You all know what I'm going to leave it on. Now, if we look down here, we see multitasking gestures. Use 4 or 5 fingers to pinch to the home screen, to swipe to reveal multitasking bar, and to swipe left or right between apps. Now, if you are a developer and you're running 4.3 and you don't see this, you have to connect to Xcode, not just iTunes, before these will pop up. I'm not sure why, but a couple developers told us that, and it seems to be the case, so just remember that. But once you do, you can do wonderful things like pinching out to get to a different app. You can also use fingers to swipe. 4 fingers is, oh, no, I'm all the way at the end, so it's going to do a little jiggle dance. George wanted me to show that. If I go 4 fingers, sorry, there's a camera in my way, so I'm not doing this well elegantly. 4 fingers, and I swiped, and it went to Safari. And 4 fingers, oops, swipe, and it's going to Twitterific. 4 fingers, and I swipe, and it's going to Game Center. So, interesting, I can swipe between applications, which looks to me quite a lot like what Apple was showing off at the Back to My Mac event for OS 10.7 Lion, when you could go sideways between full-screen apps. So I think Apple is getting their trackpads on their Macs in line with iOS. I'm going to squeeze my way back out of this again. You can also swipe 4 fingers up to show off the multitasking dock. And yes, when you go to orientation lock as hardware, the mute switch becomes software. Very, very nice. Now, what you won't see, at least so far on the iPad, is mobile hotspot, or personal hotspot, as Apple's calling it, which is a way to share your Wi-Fi connection, which I guess makes sense because there's no tethering functionality built into this either. But if we switch to the iPhone and we go into settings, and we look here, we now see personal hotspot, and it is currently on. Users can connect. There's my Wi-Fi password. Don't look at that. It changed anyway. Previously, in iOS 3, you could set up tethering via Bluetooth or USB. AT&T chose not to support it, so Americans got it with iOS 4, but everyone else, a lot of other carriers had it with iOS 3. Now, in addition to Bluetooth and USB, you have Connect using Wi-Fi, and if your carrier supports it, we know already Verizon is going to support it, and it seems to be working in the beta. We don't know if it'll officially work later on or not, but if they support it, you can connect up to 5 devices to your iPhone to share your 3G connection. Works just like a MiFi unit, or basically a little tiny portable Wi-Fi router. You have the connection coming in over 3G and the Wi-Fi hotspot service on the phone. So that is certainly excellent. There is also a slightly new look for the App Store updates. I don't have any App Store updates, so I can't show them to you, but I'm going to put a screenshot that a kindly developer sent us in here, just so you can see what they look like. Alright, this was Renee, and this was a very quick look at iOS 4.3, and if we find out anything else, we'll certainly update, so keep your eyes peeled to Tippy.com.